So yes, Adam, let's start. Obviously we met in Paris and at the Paris Blockchain Week. Since then, lots of things happened. Of course, actually you have a new organization. Perhaps you can give some insight on the new developments.
Sure. Yeah, I remember meeting in Paris. Since then we've decided to create. The exchange, the Futures Exchange, we're going to make it into a DAO, into a decentralized autonomous organization. And we are giving away 80% of that DAO to the current Digitex token owners. So that's it in a nutshell. All
right. So, and what was the reason to start a decentralized autonomous organization? Because it takes some effort to become one, I think.
Right. It's just something that I always wanted to do. You know, it's just something, it's kind of like the big promise of blockchain, right? It feels like, you're in blockchain, you should try and do something like that rather than just run a normal company. It was really just something I wanted to do. And also it's not just, it's not just some airy fairy idea. I think that, by engaging the traders, by actually having an exchange that is owned and controlled by its traders, I just think it's going to be a better exchange. I just think an exchange that's run by its stakeholders and is governed by its stakeholders is just going to be better. It's going to be fairer. It's not profit driven. And yet it's still being managed, responsibly by people that care what happens. So that's really why I wanted to do it.
All right. And if we look at the technical details, how does it actually work to, actually make this DAO? I mean, what kind of governance model, what kind of, the platform itself is built on Ethereum, for instance. So
yeah. Well, you see, my secret weapon is I now have I have Smart Deck. I don't know if you've heard of Smart Deck. That most people have in the Ethereum world, especially very, very well respected blockchain, especially Ethereum blockchain development company. They're now doing all of our development work. We have had some development issues. We've got over those now. We've got Smart Deck working on this full time. We now got a 13 strong team at Smart Deck working on the exchange. I'm actually physically in Moscow now. I've moved to Moscow to work with these guys full time. I'm in the office right now. And these guys are, if anyone is going to build a solid DAO that works properly, it's Smart Deck. So really that's what pushed me over the edge of trying this. It's something I've always wanted to try, but now I have these guys to help me implement it. I've always had ideas. Ideas are easy. There's plenty of ideas. It's implementing the damn things that's the hard part, and that's what's changed for me now. I've now got Smart Deck working with me. I'm like a kid in a toy shop now. I've got all these ideas and all these things that I want to do, and that now they're all coming out. So I've just got a lot of faith that those guys are going to build something, very solid that's going to work well.
All right. And what is the ultimate goal actually? What goals are you pursuing with Smart Deck, with the platform? What are the milestones
the basics of the exchange, but our USP, if you like, is that we are zero fee and that we're going to be non-custodial. So if we add on to the fact, if we add on that we're now becoming a decentralized autonomous organization that's owned and controlled by its traders, those three things really are, differentiating us from the vast majority of exchanges. There's so many exchanges out there now. You kind of got to be a little different. You've got to do innovative things. And, that's really what we're always trying to do, be different, innovative, but in a way that makes sense, not just for the sake of it, but in a way that makes sense. So yeah, we're still focused on our main things, which is zero fees and non-custodial. This is just an extra element that we're adding in because we think it's just going to be better being run and controlled and governed by its actual traders.
All right. So the trading itself will be on the platform, but the actually storage of the coins will be non-custodial. Is that the?
Yeah, when we first, I mean, version 1 that we're launching is going to be a centralized exchange. We're launching it centralized just to, you know, get it launched and get something out there. The non-custodial aspect of it is not something that is even, you know, it's not even technically possible as of today, you know, because the problem is this isn't, you can make, you know, a DEX, you can make a decentralized exchange that's non-custodial. If if you're not worried about the time it takes to do a trade, that part's relatively easy. The challenges we've got is that we're a live time futures exchange that's trying to be non-custodial, and to put that non-custodial thing in the middle of a real-time futures transaction. That's the tricky part, because, you know, it's the scaling problem. You know, the Ethereum blockchain takes about 15 seconds to put something on chain, and then you've got the gas costs that go with that. So that's what we've got, a full-time team of researchers here at SmartDeck now trying to figure out. They're looking at state channels, they're looking at plasma, they're looking at ZK snarks, and the solutions that they're coming up with and the research that they're doing is really cutting edge stuff. You know, nobody's figured this out yet. This is what we're trying to figure out. We're kind of running towards the cliff there, and we haven't got the plane built yet. That's kind of the situation we're in, but we're confident that we will. You know, these things are coming. You know, the layer 2 solutions are coming to Ethereum. We're just at the sharp end of that, and we're going to be contributing, you know, a lot of know-how and a lot of research into figuring out how to scale Ethereum so that it can be used in these real-time applications.
All right. So you're actually on the forefront of the development of Ethereum. I mean, if you look at your business case, and yeah,
and that's important to us. And also we want to, you know, we want to open source a lot of this stuff that we're doing. You know, the centralized exchange code, we're probably going to keep that closed. You know, we're not going to open source that because that's just proprietary code. That's just, you know, normal kind of code anyway. But the non-custodial aspect, all the scaling solutions that we figure out as we figure them out, we're going to make those open source and put them on our GitHub too. We're not going to keep that to ourselves. We want to give back to the Ethereum community because, you know, and that's just a business decision. That's not me just being all, you know, I'm such a nice person. You know, by doing that, we're going to get a lot of support back from the Ethereum community. And it is such a strong community. You know, there's like 250,000 developers in the Ethereum community. It's, you know, you want those guys on your side. If we can be the go-to exchange of those guys, and they really like us, and, you know, the SmartDeck guys are so tight in with those guys anyway already. It just makes a lot of business, it makes a lot of business sense for us to do that too.
All right. So there's lots of new positive energy going on in the project, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. We've had our down times. You know, we've had problems with developers, but, you know, we bounced back. We bounced back strong. We've got the funding to carry on. Like I say, we have had problems with developers, but the end result of that is that now I've got SmartDeck that are you know, some of the best developers in the world. So, you know, it's all worked out really, and we've got experience. You know, we've come along from the ICO. We're a better team. We're a strong team. We've been through the mill. We've survived the worst bear market in crypto history. You know, and we're still standing. You know, and we've got a plan and we're implementing. So, yes, things haven't gone as smoothly as they could do. You know, whatever does go to plan. But, you know, we're still going, and we're very excited to be doing the things that we're doing.
All right. And if you look at what lessons learned, if you look at becoming a DAO, I mean, what kind of lessons did you learn till so far? I mean, becoming a DAO seems quite difficult to me, but perhaps you have experienced it yourself.
To be honest, I mean, we're in the stage where October the 1st, the DigiDAO tokens get created, and they don't get released all on day one. There's 1 billion DigiDAO tokens that will represent the DAO. They get locked into a smart contract, and those tokens get released on a daily schedule over a 5-year period. So we have a good several months even more than several months, because I'll be the majority holder of tokens for like the first year, because the transition is going to be smooth. We're not just going to flip the switch and then it's just a free-for-all. Nobody's in control. You know, I'm going to have an amount of tokens that means that for the first year, I'm effectively in control anyway. You know, whatever vote we had, I would win. After that first year, as the daily release of tokens comes out, I'm gradually going to lose that majority. And after the second year, I'm a minority. Third, fourth, fifth year, I'm very firmly a minority. So the transition is going to be smooth, which means we don't have to figure it all out, you know, next week or next month. We do have a solid 6 months to figure this out, how to become a DAO, what the best, you know, hard code into it, what we don't hard code into it. We're getting a lot of feedback from our community. We've got such a strong Telegram community, you know, one of the busiest Telegram groups in the world. So we are getting a lot of feedback. We are getting a lot of suggestions from people. And at the moment, we're just crunching that all up. I won't tell you that we have a solution. I won't tell you exactly how we're going to do it because, again, we don't know. But we've got time to figure that out, and we are going to figure it out. And we've got the best team that we could possibly have that, you know, to build it.
All right. And I mean, of course, if we look at the developments in the futures market, you are a player in this market. Today, Binance has announced to launch a Bitcoin futures platform or a crypto futures platform. How do you see these developments? I mean, we've seen a lot of growth, I mean, in this market.
I think it's great. I think it's great that Binance comes out with a futures product. I mean, any serious player that comes out with a futures product just validates, you know, that market. And we are firmly differentiated from them in that we're going to be zero fee. You know, we just got a different model. So any type of big player like Binance that comes out and says that is great for the industry. You know, it stops it from being a niche thing into being a more mainstream thing. And we're going to be firmly at the forefront of that, offering an alternative to traders who decide, yeah, I do want to trade these futures. I don't want to pay all these fees. Let me give Digitex a try, you know. And we're also going to have the non-custodial aspects of it coming in shortly after we launch, hopefully, which is another reason why people might want to use us instead of, you know, a bigger player. And we're also going to be a DAO. You know, you join us, you end up owning a bit of it and having a say in how it's governed. So I think it's great that things like that are coming out.
So just one step back, if you look at the non-custodial aspect, you will get, of course, you can store it in your own wallet, or how does it work actually?
Well, that's the thing. Like I say, we haven't figured it out completely yet. We've looked at state channels where you would be able to hold it in your own wallet, and really the money's just kind of locked up into a state channel, and you know the trading's done, but we just need to know that you're good for the money when we need to take it from you. We've looked at that. We're looking at Plasma. We're looking at ZK Snarks. At the moment, the Plasma is the winner. They're moving away from the state channel solution and looking at one of the variations, because there's different flavors of Plasma too. But they're looking at Plasma as being the solution for the non-custodial aspect. Whether you'll be able to keep it in your own wallet or whether you send it to, you know, an independent smart contract, I can't give you those details yet.
Plasma is like a sidechain solution. That's the way I understand
Correct.
it.
Yeah. It's a sidechain solution that can be very fast because it's basically just another blockchain that you're running on a single server. So it's very, very fast. Now, the problem with running something on a single server is, you know, I mean, there's no problem with doing things very fast. The database can handle millions of transactions a second. The problem is making it decentralized and trustless. You know, the problem is having 10,000 other computers at the same time all doing it. That's why Ethereum can't be as fast as a simple Postgres database. You know, millions of transactions per second isn't a hard thing to do. So what Plasma does is it allows you to do that, but it has through some clever smart contract stuff that to be honest with you, don't understand yet. It offers the security. It gives you that speed advantage of a single server, but it offers the security advantages of the main chain. And that's what Plasma is doing. It's somehow, you know, that side chain is communicating with the main chain to give you those security benefits, but while still giving you the speed of a single server. Like I say, I can't explain it fully technically yet because it's kind of advanced stuff. But you know, I'm here in Moscow as they narrow down on a solution, and as they say, right, this is how we're going to do it. That, you know, I'm really going to dig in then and really get to grips with how it's working, so I can be out there explaining it.
All right. And if we look at the organization, how is the organization growing? I mean, do you have some support? I mean, of course, there's the development team in Moscow. Do you have some other support?
Well, I mean, like I say, we've got the busiest Telegram channel in the world. You know, that's manned 24/7. That's been manned 24/7 for like the last 18 months or something. You know, so we've got all those guys. We've got a full-time support team. We just opened a Russian Telegram group. We're just starting to open social media channels in Japan and Korea. We're just translating the website right now into Japanese, Chinese, and Korean, and maybe even Vietnamese too. And we're onboarding support staff for all these languages. So yes, we've got, you know, we don't have, you know, 100 people support team. We don't need them yet, but yeah, we've got the support that we need in all the different languages that we're offering right now. Yeah.
All right. And how are you growing as an entrepreneur? I mean, as an entrepreneur, you go through different phases, of course, and are there some lessons learned if you look back at the past, or are there some things?
I mean, for me, the big problem has been, you know, the marketing. We really got a handle on the marketing. For me, the biggest problem has been, you know, implementing the ideas that we've had. You know, like I said before, the ideas kind of come easy. Implementation has been where we've fallen down. I guess what lessons I say, you know, I've really, you know, I'm really starting to understand just how difficult development is. You know, I just thought you go hire a few developers and they'll just build what you want. You've really got to be very, very involved with the development process. You know, you can hire really smart people. I hired very smart people at the very start, but I wasn't as hands-on as I could have been. You know, I was in one country, they were in another country. I did daily phone calls with them. You know, I went to visit them regularly, and it just didn't seem to work out. That's why I'm physically here in Moscow right now, living here full time, coming into the office every single day. That I would guess that's the lesson that I've learned, is just to get very, very involved with the development process in a much more involved way than you think would be necessary.
All right. And are there some cultural differences, or is it all? I mean, do you speak the same language?
I haven't got a word of Russian in my head. Fortunately, they all speak English, so I mean, I'm lucky. But once I step out of the office, there's a lot of cultural differences. People don't speak a lot of English in this country. I'm figuring out all the alphabet's all messed up. You know, it's just all kinds of crazy letters. So, but I've got a Russian. Learn Russian thing on my phone, so I'm trying to get through that, but it's slow going. I've got to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, nice to catch up again, Adam. Yeah, perhaps just a few more questions. If you look at what is actually the ultimate dream? If this all the developments implemented, etc., what's the ultimate goal or dream for yourself, for this company?
I mean, you just want to see your idea, you know, take off and be accepted by everyone, really, don't you? It's, you know, it's less about making the money. I mean, obviously making money is very important, but it's about the validation of, you know, building something that just everybody says, oh, wow, what a great idea. That's great. So for me, the ultimate dream would just be seeing Digitex become, you know, a major exchange player. Like I said before, there's so many exchanges. I would just like to see Digitex as, you know, a top 5 exchange that's just got millions of users with various different products. We're going to have a futures exchange. We're gonna build a spot exchange too, which is also going to be commission free. So yeah, the target is just just to see the company and the exchange succeed, be accepted by everyone, and change how things go. We're working on those Ethereum scaling solutions. When we figure that out, and you can actually have a real-time exchange that is non-custodial, I mean, that's a big goal too. That would be great to see that.
All right. Cool. Sounds good. So I think we can. Are there some other projects you get some inspiration from, or you talked about the spot market. Can you give some insight? Will it be like Binance offering like hundreds of coins, or will it be like a bit like a short list of cryptocurrencies? We haven't got the spot market launched yet, so there's still a lot of room for decisions to be made. By the time the spot market comes out, we're going to firmly be a DAO. So those are all decisions that really won't even be being made by me. I can make a bunch of proposals. We could have the listing process could be part of the DAO. People could vote on that. The DAO could vote on what our listing fee is. The DAO could vote on whether we accept a project or not. So as to whether we would have hundreds of coins or not, I don't really know, to be honest. It's whatever the DAO decides at the time on a case-by-case basis. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I think we have to conclude. Are there some other things you want to address?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything there. That was a good chat we just had there. So it's good to see you again.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Adam. All the best in Moscow with the developments. Hopefully, everything runs smooth, and we can do an update later this year or something. So
excellent. Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. Thanks very much, mate.